I am strong. I am confident. I am grateful. Welcome to the 2D Fit and Ish podcast, the podcast that inspires women empowerment, self-confidence, self-love, all through the arts of fitness, health, wellness, and you know it, that girlfriend ish talk. I am your host, Dawn Thomas, the owner of 2D Pole Fit in the DMV. Listen, I'm that girlfriend that will inspire you to jump off the cliff and build that plane on the way down. Now, tune in, my friend, and let's talk that ish. I am bold. I am fierce. I am a bad ass. I am the ish. Nama 2D Slay to you. Nama 2D Slay to all of you, my 2D family, my supporters, my loved ones, okay, my 2D friends, you, all of you. Welcome to the 2D Fit and Ish podcast. Listen, I hope that this episode finds you doing well, and that you're taking care of yourself, your physical health, your mental, emotional health, all of that, okay? At least to the best of your ability. Wow, so much has happened since I shared the last episode, okay? In the last episode, I believe we talked about the chakras. I had a chakra bootcamp starting at that time, and let me tell you, this boot camp was off the hook. The ladies and I, we broke the chakras down like no tomorrow, okay? The conversations and the activities were profound, honey, okay? So that was the chakra boot camp. And again, I believe that is the last episode that I shared with you. And let me tell you, 2D fam friends, listen, okay? Since then, your girl, I've been busy, okay? In a good way. I'm so grateful for everything that has happened in my life, that is going on, as well as some upcoming projects that I'm working on, okay? We're talking about workshops, the classes that I lead at the studio, 2D Fit in Fort Washington, Maryland, wellness retreats. Okay, I have 2 coming up this year. My private clients, I appreciate them. I'm working on my product line. I mean, blessings after blessings after blessings have been pouring in, and I am grateful. Okay, I cannot express my gratitude enough. And, to top it all off, the 2D Fit and Ish podcast as of today, are you ready for this? 1,144 downloads. That is outstanding. All right? 1,144 downloads. And I'm going to share my top 5, okay? I have other locations, but the top 5, here we go. So the first is Fort Washington, Maryland, and that is always near and dear to my heart because that's where my fitness studio is, okay? That is like the hub, the central location. So to get support from my community, it means the world to me. And I thank you so much, okay? Number 2, hey, Frankfurt, Germany. Outstanding. Thank you, okay? That blows my mind every time I look at this list because you're not close by, right? So thank you so much for your support. And then number 3, I have Waldorf, Maryland. Okay, number 4, Washington, D.C. Okay, and number 5, hey, Plano, Texas. All right, so just thank you. Thank all of you for supporting 2D as a whole. Thank you. So with all that being said, okay, someone might say, well, Dawn, boo-boo kitty. One might think or say, with all of these positive things that you mentioned, how and why did you have an anxiety attack? I had an anxiety attack recently. And I felt the need to share this. I felt it in my spirit, okay? Because people often forget that we are all human. In spite of who we might see on social media, on the TV screen, okay, on the Facebook, Instagram, Live, TikTok, okay, preaching all of this ish, like everything is so perfect. But they don't talk about the challenging times, right? Because we all have some type of soft, vulnerable moment. I'm going to keep it 100 with you, okay? I consider myself, listen, I want you to pay attention, okay? This is deep. And I hope that you feel me on this. I want you to let me know. Email me, DM me in my inbox, okay? But let me know if you feel me on this. I consider myself a strong, confident, badass, held to the yes, let's do this woman, okay? I mean, listen to the affirmations that I selected for this podcast. But I am still human. Let me tell you, life will throw all different types of curveballs and throw uppercuts when you least expect. Pause right there alone. Nod your head. Listen, nod your head right now if you agree with me thus far. Nod your head up and down. Say, yes, Dawn, I feel you, girl. Nod your head. Let me tell you why I became a registered yoga teacher, okay? Follow me, all right? The intent was not to teach yoga. At that time, I was going through some heavy-ish, like many people do. And I had to figure this shit out. Point blank, plain and simple. I had to figure this shit out because I knew that I did not want to live that type of life. Did not want it, okay? So I decided to attend yoga teacher training. Because, a lot of times when people go through certain things, medication, or taking that stuff, right? Putting themselves on that stuff, okay, is the first thing or one of the first things that people are drawn to, or their doctor would recommend that to them. And I'm not knocking it, okay? To each his own, okay? Everybody is different. I'm just telling you my story, okay? Let's get that straight, all right? So I signed up for yoga teacher training to help me with everyday life factors, okay? I knew that yoga was more than bending and touching your toes and things of that nature. And, I could talk about that in a separate podcast on its own, okay? But this podcast, okay, it's not about that, okay? Listen, just follow me. So I found myself getting deeper and deeper and deeper into yoga. And I made yoga my own, my style, my swag, my flavor, okay? I made yoga lit for my situation. And after some time and spending time with the ladies that come to the studio and hearing stories and having conversations, I said, you know what? These ladies, they need this yoga. I knew what this yoga did for me in my life. I said, I have to pass it on. And ever since then, every day I get down with yoga. I get down with yoga, okay? I practice yoga. I make it unique for me. All of this adds to creating an indestructible space. Talk about being zen out. All right? It's like medicine for me. Talk about a bitch can't steal my vibe, honey, okay? In fact, I actually lead a virtual yoga bootcamp called Create Your Indestructible Space, and it's centered on the 8 limbs of yoga, but I get real with it, honey, okay? Real as can be. I incorporate real-ish that we as women go through today. What year is it, 2023? Real-ish. Let me ask you this. How is your space right now? Based on everything that I've said, pause and think about it. How is your space? Is it indestructible? How is your mental space, emotional space, your physical space? What do you do on a day-to-day basis to maintain this space? Because, honey, I tell you right now, all right, listen, and I'm talking every day. If you don't work on this space, or if you work on this space or add to this space or get into this space only when you are going through something, the results, what you're looking for, okay, is not going to come immediately. In other words, to be honest with you, for real, and this is my perspective, okay, you don't pray or work on something only when you are in a situation. It helps, it helps, okay? But you add to this space and you praise and you express your gratitude, okay? Through the good and the bad. You want this to be your lifestyle. You want it to be part of you. Talk about putting on the whole armor of God so that ye may be able to stand against evil. That's everyday work. Not only when you are in a situation. Every day, do something in your space. And it came out for me recently. Y'all listen. While I was teaching class, I received some personal news that caused me to stop in my tracks. And we were getting it, okay? My classes are lit, okay? We were getting it. The ladies were having a good time. I was having a good time. I was giving my all. We were in it, okay? Normally, I don't pay attention to my phone, but for some reason, at this time, I did. And again, the news caused me to stop. Let me tell you, I spazzed out. I went from 0 to 100 in seconds. I hadn't had an experience like this in years, okay? It took me back to my why behind my yoga, or at least why I got into yoga. And panic attacks, anxiety attacks, It comes in many forms, and it can be triggered by many things. You know, some are mild, some are severe. Some people don't even know their triggers. You know, a lot of people tuck unresolved matters away, right? It's sort of like programs in their unconscious mind. When you program something in your unconscious mind so that it's no longer an issue, it becomes an issue if it's triggered, if something strikes it. You know, stress, insecurities. There really isn't an exact cause behind anxiety attacks, okay? Nothing specific, because everyone's situation is different. Everyone handles the, the fight and flight response. I think that's what you call it, or flight and fight response. Okay, one of the two. You know what I'm talking about, okay? Just follow me. Everyone handles that differently. Everyone is unique. So there aren't any specific causes, okay? Just know that no one is immune to having an anxiety attack. Someone could actually have a silent anxiety attack. You know, I'll give you an example. There was a time when I was in college, and the professor called on me out of the blue. And just like that, my heart raced for no reason, just for a second. But then I took a breath, okay, and I did what I had to do, all right? But that is an example of a silent anxiety attack, y'all. And no one is immune to this. No one is immune to this. But you see, if this were to happen to you, or if this is something that you're going through, okay, and I'm not an anxiety attack specialist, a doctor, or anything to that nature. All of this is coming from my perspective and my personal experience, okay? But the thing that you have to do, and which I did for myself, that's when you practice grace. Practice grace. And let me tell you this, honey, okay? Listen. If I did not pour into myself every day, if I don't put some type of work within my indestructible space every day, I'm sure things would have been different for me. It would have been worse when I spazzed out, when I had this anxiety attack. It would have been worse. And shout out to the ladies that were there that night. Talk about the angels, okay? The tribe coming through. Thank you, ladies. I appreciate you, and you know who you are, okay? I will never forget you. But let me tell you, I went home and I got myself together, and I picked back up the next day. My bounce back was strong. You see, I could have easily isolated myself or went into depression or something similar. But no, I picked myself back up the next day. Not because I had to, but because it was in my spirit to do so. You see, my indestructible space, the affirmations that I cite every day, it reminds me of who I am. And I remind you that I try my best to live a purpose-driven life. I have ladies like Trina who wins while dealing with the fibromyalgia. And it's not in my DNA to drop the mic. I know that if my chakras become misaligned, that it's okay to ground and start over from scratch and align my shit back up. Oops, my ish back up. So I'm giving you full transparency. I hope that you are getting something from this. I give myself grace for what I went through. But I celebrate more for how I picked myself back up. If this is you, listen, if this is you, give yourself grace. If it happened to you in the past, give yourself grace. Don't stop building and adding to your indestructible space. Don't stop every day, okay? Never be ashamed, because we are all human. Let me tell you, nobody is perfect, okay? There aren't any perfect patties out there. Don't be ashamed to seek professional help if it will help you. I said it before, I'm not a mental health professional, okay? But what I can do is help you with your indestructible space. I can do that. I have this virtual bootcamp, Create Your Indestructible Space. And it is raw and unfiltered, okay? But what Mary J. Blige said, honey, take me as I am. If you're interested, the link is in the show notes, or you can visit my website, 2dfit.life. But all in all, I hope that you receive the message and that you understand and that you get something of value from this episode. Yes, I recently had an anxiety attack. I give myself grace, but I celebrate myself even more for how I pick back up. 2D fam, thank you for your support. Listen, if I inspired you in any way, okay, please share this episode with someone. I welcome your feedback. If you have not done so already, please subscribe to my podcast channel and hit the notifications button so that you are notified when I publish a new episode. You know, you can also support my Buy Me Coffee page. Y'all listen, I started a wish list on my Buy Me Coffee page, y'all, because my coffee machine is on its last leg, okay? Y'all know I love my coffee, okay? But if you would like to support, I highly, highly would appreciate that. My Instagram handle is at 2dfitlife, at 2dfitlife, okay? And reach out. Okay, reach out to me, stay in contact, follow me, okay? And if you have any stories to share, I would love to hear about it, all right? Ladies, I appreciate you. And until next time, Nama 2D Slay.